good, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. Today we finna get back to the Heat of the Moment podcast and film episode 14. I know it's been a while. I ain't been filming my sports podcast because there ain't been a lot to talk about. All season ain't been too much action, but look, preseason is over with. Regular season is here for the NFL, so there's a lot to talk about. This is episode 14. Y'all go ahead, like, comment, subscribe. And if you don't know me by now, my name is rudeboisos or Sosa Baby, whichever one you want to call me. But let's get into the video. So week 1 of the NFL is in the books. And we have a lot of action already. Out the gate. We can start with the injuries. My man Aaron Rodgers went down. Torn Achilles, out for season. That was the story of the off season, man. My boy came to the Jets from Green Bay and was trying to make a statement this season. All about business. My boy had the locker room in check. My boy was on his grind. Look, the most fit he has looked in his whole NFL career, ready to go. 4 plays into the game. Hey, drop back, I think it was a sack or whatever. My boy went down and you could see the calf pull or something. They knew right then and there was a torn Achilles, and lo and behold, it was a torn Achilles. Aaron Rodgers done. What does this mean for the Jets? Because the Jets were in the same division, the AFC East, with the Patriots, the Bills, and my Dolphins. And the Jets were worrying me. The Jets were scaring me. But now, the Jets don't seem to be much of a problem anymore. Sad to see A-Rod go down. It's a competitive sport. The sport ain't friendly to you. Sport has no love for the game. My man is out. What do the Jets do? I thought Tom Brady. I was like, hey man, y'all can't waste this season. Go get Tom Brady. My boy might want to come back out for a team that already got the D, got the O, got the receivers, got the weapons. But it looks like Tom Brady's done and good. Aaron Rodgers, see if you can get that boy Tom Brady on the phone. So I had the Dolphins, Bills, and Jets competing for the AFC East. You can take the Jets out of that conversation now because all they got is the D. They got Zach Wilson at quarterback, and lo and behold, Zach Wilson did close that game off for the Jets because Aaron Rodgers went down 4 plays into the game. So Zach Wilson after that, and Zach Wilson looked horrible for most of the game. But he was going against a good Bills defense, but he did better than Josh Allen. I don't think he turned it over as much as Josh. He didn't turn it over as much as Josh Allen. Josh Allen turned it over 4 times in that game. 3 picks and a fumble, looking awful. But Zach Wilson closed the game, gave a touchdown to Garrett Wilson. Hey, did what he needed to do. We saw Breece Hall back in action, torn ACL last week in week 7. He's back. Snap count, my boy had 10 rushes. I think like 100 and something, 157 if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. 120 something, but my boy looked good. My boy was explosive. My boy was, hey, he's bouncing back. That's what it looks like. They had Dalvin Cook, I think got a couple carries too. He wasn't as explosive as Breece Hall, who's coming off with ACL, but it's expected. Breece Hall still doesn't have as much wear as tear as Dalvin Cook does. Dalvin Cook has history of injuries, but the Jets, we'll see what it is. They can maybe finish 3rd in the AFC East, and we'll see who they go for. Kaepernick, I've heard Carson Wentz. Like, who they bring in right now? Maybe Matt Ryan. I don't know. They said they're in the market for a veteran quarterback, but it won't be Tom Brady. So that was interesting. The Bills, on the other hand, Josh Allen gonna need a bounce back because he was looking horrible. Let's go with players of the week. To get into the podcast episode, players of the week. My top player of the week is Tyreek Hill. We going with my Miami Dolphins, Tyreek Hill. My boy had 2 touchdowns. My boy had like 200 and something 200 plus passing yards. 2 touchdowns. Hey, we can easily go Tua. Tua had what? 2 touchdown passes. Tua had what? 460 something passing yards. Hey. We did it against a Los Angeles Chargers team. That's pretty nice. I won't say their D is A1, but their D is okay. Their offense is A1, but we was going back and forth with them. Every time they score, we score. We never took a snap in the lead. We always took a snap coming back from the game, and Tua had his fourth quarter comeback. My boy Tyreek was killing the D all over the field, and he has that mindset that ain't nobody can hold me. Player of the week for sure. Player of the week out the gate, trying to be the best receiver this season. He's my best receiver in the NFL. You can say I'm being biased because I'm a Dolphins fan, but it's Tyreek Hill, then Jefferson, then Chase. We're going to start it like that. And then maybe Devontae Adams. Man, 2, 3, 4 could be argued, but number one right now, Tyreek Hill. The list is fluid. The list could change. But who else? No, we're not going to go to who else because we just going to say that's the player of the week for me this week. And we're going to go to... Just go straight into my Dolphins. Go straight into the AFC East. The Dolphins look like a threat to win the AFC East and the AFC. We're going to see. Like last year, we didn't have Tua. When Tua went down, we couldn't go far. With Tua, we went far. With Tua, we look like a Super Bowl team. Without Tua, we're not the same team. So right now, we go as far as Tua takes us. Tua this year, we're praying for health. We're praying for health. If we're healthy, he can take us to the promised land. He can take us to the Super Bowl. And Dolphins fans have been needing this since Dan Marino. We've endured a lot of pain. A lot of teams know the struggle of not having a quarterback for years. We haven't had a quarterback since the 90s. Dan Marino. All these other quarterbacks in between were fillers. I think we got our guy in Tua. It's good to be able to be like, we're down in the fourth quarter, but we have a quarterback that can take us there and finish. We're down in the game, but we have a quarterback that can come and give it right back. 2-3 plays, touchdown. 2-3 passes, touchdown. And just look at the beautiful fourth quarter comeback. We score. They score. We got the ball. We're driving. I'm thinking, hey, run the clock out. Run it down. Don't give them a chance to score on offense. But we get to that goal line. You see Tua throw the fade to Tyreek Hill. Hey, touchdown. The D is not holding that guy. I don't know what they were doing. I don't think they were in the zone. They were in the man all game. Not even trying to double team my guy. It was awful. It was bad. And look, we have it's like 1:45 left. We giving Jay Herbo back the ball. And Jay Herbo's nice with it. Jay Herbo's in the same draft class with Burrow and Tua. They all going to be compared for their whole careers. Right now, people will probably say Jay Herbo's the better guy. But I think Tua's the better guy. Jay Herbo's just more probably healthy. Burrow's probably more healthy. But that can be argued. Burrow tore his ACL first year. And now he had a calf injury to start off. Tua's had broken hips in college. Maybe he's the most injury prone. But we're going to compare these quarterbacks for the rest of their career. Jay Herbo gets the ball last. The defense comes through, man. I think we ended the game with like 2 sacks on Jay Herbo, bro. The D-line is here. Our defense wasn't too great, but hey, it's the Chargers offense. Like, you're not slowing down the Chargers offense. They got Kellen Moore at offensive coordinator now. They running 2 backs. Joshua Kelly and Eckler getting theirs. Hey, it's expected for our defense to not be able to contain that offense. It's an electric offense, but not as electric as our Dolphins offense. Mike McDaniel, shout out to you because this is your culture. This is all you. We look nice. We look legit. Take us to the promised land, Mike McDaniel. But hey, that was a good game. What else happened around in week 1? We have the opening game on Thursday. Pat Mahomes lost to freaking Detroit Lions. No Kelsey. So the offense looked not normal. It didn't look the same. They weren't using McKinnon out the backfield. They brought Clyde Delaire or whatever his name is back into the mix to start. And my boy wasn't efficient really with his touches. Pacheco did okay. But the receivers, I saw Rashee Rice get a touchdown. I think Noah Gray, the backup tight end, got a touchdown. But yeah, they didn't look the same. I'm not cutting out the Pat Mahomes, like 2-time Super Bowl champ. You did it without Tyreek Hill. You're respected. We're not going to count you out. It's just rusty week 1. I remember Pat Mahomes started off rough last season, ended up Super Bowl champs. So I'm not counting them out. Detroit looked okay. You saw Gibbs. You saw Montgomery, the 1-2 punch. You saw Amon-Ra. You saw them passing. Jared Goff looking nice. Okay. We don't know how long that'll last. Maybe they're same playoff team for Detroit this year. We'll see. We saw the Dallas Cowboys and the Giants 40-0. My guy Dak didn't get no touchdown passes in a 40-0 game. Okay, it was that easy. Defense was killing Daniel Jones, smacking the Giants all game long. It was no competition. Tony Pollard basically carried the rock most of the game and kind of made it easy for the offense. They didn't have to do much, so it wasn't really a crazy passing attack. Dak did what he had to, or not, did the minimal, just did what he needed to, didn't do what he had to, did what he needed to get the dub, and it was a 40-0. No need to turn the ball over. Just keep handing the rock off. Cool, feed Tony. We'll see as the season prolongs with America's team, because I say the best version of the Dallas Cowboys is when Dak is not passing. When Dak is being a game manager. Dak, the game manager is better than Dak trying to be the prolific passer, trying to audible at the line, change things up, will and deal all game long. No, because the moment you start doing that, you made the Cowboys a sorrier team. You turn the rock over, you do the most. And it's a lot, and that's the thing with a lot of these quarterbacks. Early on, they're game managers, they run the ball here and there. Josh Allen, like Lamar, they all, but it's like towards when they pay them the bag and they got to be the man, and it's like the weapons aren't around, or you have CeeDee Lamb, you have Zeke and Tony, and it's like you can still feed the weapons that take you there. You can still be a game manager. You start trying to be the man. You start trying to show I'm Pat Mahomes. Like, I'm the guy that can toss and throw and will and deal all over the field, change up things at the line under my say-so. Not the coach say-so, under my say-so. And once you start doing that, you start being awful. You start losing. You start not losing, but losing when it matters in the playoffs. You start turning the ball over a lot. And it's like, okay, it's not, turning the ball over is one thing, but to be losing in the playoffs, second round, not going to the Super Bowl and things like that, it's bad. When Pat Mahomes is turning the rock over, he's still taking you to the promised land, to the Super Bowl. Josh Allen, he's not. So you gotta, like, the Dallas Cowboys, the best version of them is play action pass. Hand it off. And now Mike McCarthy's calling the plays. We'll see. Maybe he's more of a, okay, we're not going to have Kellen Moore just having you tossing all over the field. Like, we're going to really run the rock, play action pass when we need to. And that's the best version of the Cowboys. If you think about rookie year, Dak Prescott and Zeke Elliott, that was why they were so successful. I mean, they still lost early in the playoffs, but they handed it off, play action pass, Dak. Not all the shotgun, changing things up at the line, trying to be the man. That is not Dak. You are not the man, guy. You are not the man. But before America come kill me, that's enough for America's team. What else happened week 1? San Francisco came out. Brock Purdy looked normal, looked good. The defense was elite. They pounded freaking the Steelers, and basically the Steelers didn't look good. Najee didn't really get the touches. What we saw from Pickett in the preseason didn't come to fruition week 1. It can still come to fruition, but not week 1. You got Deontay Johnson out now with an hamstring injury. They got Pickens still, Allen Robinson. We'll see if they can turn it back around this week. I think they do play the Browns. But San Francisco looked excellent. McCaffrey, they fed McCaffrey the rock a lot. 23, like maybe 100 and something, 50 something rushing yards, 1 TD. He broke for 1. Brock Purdy looked nice. Ayuk looked nice. He's looking to take the next step this year. 2 TDs. Kittle didn't do much. Debo didn't have to do much, but like San Francisco, once they're up, they start playing conservative, start pounding the rock, and that's it. They're not going to just toss, running up on you all game. But Brock Purdy, it was good to see him back, look healthy. They made him the starter, let Lance go, and my Shanahan, he stood by it. Or Kyle, whichever one it is. The Shanahan, he stood by it. He stood by his move, and it paid off. And Brock Purdy's that guy. Mr. Irrelevant is that guy. He's controlling the offense. He's doing what he needs to. You can say he's game managing, but he's not turning the rock over. And they look good. San Francisco's D looks good. Bosa, they paid him that big bag, and he's there week 1. And it was a force. The defense was a force to be reckoned with. So we'll see. They're Super Bowl contenders for sure. Dallas, Super Bowl contenders for sure. Eagles, they had a little rough patch against the New England Patriots, but it's expected. Belichick knows how to take out your top options. He knows how to slow you down. He has a good defense. So to see the Eagles struggle, it's not surprising to me. We'll look for them to bounce back. definitely Super Bowl contenders still. AJ Brown did okay, didn't do too much. Needed to. I'm not saying he didn't have to, but it was a close game. Rather close. As far as the Patriots, they look better than we expected. Offensively, they got to a slow start, but towards the end of the game, they started figuring out themselves. Willen and Dillon to Bourne, Demario Douglas. I think he's on that team. I watched a lot of games because of fantasy football, but I think I remember Demario Douglas being on the New England Patriots. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was willing. Matt Jones was willing and Dillon to him. He was Dillon to Hunter Henry, the tight end. Ramondre Stevenson and Zeke Elliott, the 1-2 punch. They were slow to begin with, but towards the end, they started passing it to Ramondre Stevenson out the backfield. Zeke still trying to get it in. He's good complimentary back. We'll see where they go. They have a chance to finish third in the division now that the Jets have lost their QB, but we'll see. We'll see. They play the Dolphins this week. It should be a good matchup. Sunday Night Football. Tune in, 7:20 Central Time. What is that? 8:20 Eastern. But that should be a good matchup because they're going to try to slow Tyreek down, but we'll see who can slow Tyreek down, Tyreek and Waddle. Waddle didn't do much last game. He did okay. He didn't have to do too much, but if you can't stop both. You can try to stop one, but even then, you may not be able to stop one. But you can't stop both, that's for sure. We're going to see. If anybody can do it, it's Belichick. So that'll be a good matchup. What else happened? The Browns, Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow looked awful. The whole Cincinnati Bengals offense looked awful. Deshaun Watson, he didn't look too great. He did okay. But their Cleveland Browns D was there. They were there. They were free. Myles Garrett. He kind of was a force on defense. The defense did great. So offense was able to run the ball a lot. The backup running back had 15 touches. I think Chubb had 18 touches. So they did run the rock a lot, like it's Chubb's Kareem Hunt. But now they have Ford as the backup. Wasn't productive with his 15 touches, but Chubb's was productive with his 18 touches. So Deshaun Watson, I think, passed for a TD, rushed for a TD. I look to see Cleveland Browns pick it up as the season goes along and can really be a force in that division, maybe win the division, and anything's possible with Deshaun Watson as your quarterback, but we need to see Deshaun Watson back to the form before he sat out a year. What else? Giants were awful. We saw that. Cardinals are awful. Redskins beat them. They were awful. Who else did we... Who else did we cover? See, if I didn't talk about, the Minnesota Vikings, they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield, he kind of was okay. Baker Mayfield was okay. Not great, but to beat the NFC, were they the best seed or the top two seeds in Kirk Cousins and Justin Jefferson and them, to beat them week one, that's an opening statement. Kirk Cousins looked like Kirk Cousins. He's going to ball one game. He's going to be mediocre a couple more games. Like, all he has is Justin. He did throw a touchdown pass to Addison, the rookie. Justin Jefferson had a field day. Had 11 catches or 8 catches, 11 catches for 157 yards, no TDs. So they couldn't contain him, but it's like they had 3 turnovers from Kirk Cousins. They don't have Cook no more. I think the running back, Madison, he did get a receiving touchdown, but it all comes down to Kirk Cousins. They go as far as Kirk Cousins will take them, and Kirk Cousins really didn't do much that game. He did more bad than good, turned it over a lot. But the Saints were okay. Who did they play? The Titans. Titans looked mediocre with Tannehill at quarterback and DeAndre Hopkins. I don't know if DeAndre Hopkins will be the best version of himself with Tannehill at quarterback. We will see. We saw with A.J. Brown that Tannehill could feed A.J. Brown. Can you feed Hopkins the same way? We will see. But they lost to the Saints. Derek Carr, okay, not too great. Had Olave, had Raheem Shaheed and Michael Thomas. Got a little bit of weapons over there. Jamal Williams is the back, while what's his name is suspended. I think Kamara's suspended. Was there anything else that went down? The Colts, Anthony Richardson, the rookies. Let's see, who was the best rookie? Anthony Richardson was okay. He played a good game against Jacksonville. I forgot to talk about them against Jacksonville. Played an okay game against Jacksonville. He did. He needs to protect himself more if he wants to last. But he did look bold, better than I thought he would come out. I thought he was going to be reckless, but he wasn't too reckless. He was okay. The future looks bright for him if he can be smart and get better. It's going to be some growing pains, but they lost to the Jacksonville, and it was a close game. And that was surprising from Jacksonville, who's trying to take the next step and who won the division last year. So they kind of struggled early on, but they finished it. They had ATN. They had Ridley. Calvin Ridley looked good. And I didn't know if he was going to look the same coming back after a year and a half off. But he looked excellent. He looked good. It was better than I thought he would look. I thought Kirk would still be getting fed. He didn't really get fed that game. Trevor Lawrence threw Ridley a touchdown and then threw Zay Jones a touchdown. I know Etienne broke for a touchdown as well. So their offense is still capable of being explosive. It was a slow start to them week 1. Look for them to bounce back with a smoother game. We saw Addison score. We saw Zay Flowers for the Redskins kind of be the number 1 receiving option. And he looked good too. So I would say the best rookie. So, we forgot to talk about the other rookies. Gibbs looked okay, looked explosive, didn't get as much touches as we thought he would. Montgomery, they were feeding him. But Bijan in Atlanta against the Carolina. James Young, or Bryce Young, I said James. Bryce Young didn't look okay. It wasn't too great. Rookie, growing pains, quarterback. Carolina don't got no real receiving weapons right now. But they're okay. They lost to Atlanta. Atlanta looked better. Atlanta ran the Rocks a lot. They have a 1-2 punch in Algier and Bijan Robinson. And it looks like a great 1-2 punch. Bijan Robinson, I didn't know how he was going to be. I don't know how the Atlanta offense is going to be. They barely passed the ball. Drake London had no receptions. But we shall look to see how the offense evolves over the year. If they're just going to be ground all year, or are they going to kind of figure it out, do something better, make something of themselves in a passing game. But for week 1, they did great with the 1-2 punch. Bijan looked great. Algier looked great. Algier got 2 touchdowns. Bijan only got 1, but Bijan was catching it out the backfield. Looked explosive. I would say week 1, who was the best back? I would give it to Bijan. I mean, the best rookie, I'd give it to Bijan. Addison could be argued. Zay Flowers could be argued, but I'd give it to Bijan. They got the dub, explosive. And he did, and he was sharing the backfield. He could easily have had 30 touches and been crazy with it all game. But did I cover everything? I think I did for the most part. If I didn't cover y'all got to do better. Y'all weren't maybe that much of a factor this week, or maybe I just forgot. But I'm gonna get back into my episodes, my Heat of the Moment podcast. Now that the season is in full effect, NBA season is still a month and a half out, but these episodes will start picking up. I'm gonna try to do maybe 2 to 3 videos a week over the week. Like today, I'm dropping this video late, but I'll be more on time with it next week. As far as the week 1 NFL recap. Week 2 NFL recap will be more on time. Tonight we have the Eagles versus the Vikings. Kirk Cousins versus Eagles. Last year, I think when that matchup happened, I don't think Kirk Cousins stepped up to the challenge. So we look to see Kirk Cousins bounce back from week 1 and step up to the challenge against an Eagles team who had a slow start last week against New England and looks to be prolific this week. But I'm going to end this vlog with just talking about fantasy football. I have talking about my team and how it's been so far for me. My NFL draft, I was the first pick of the draft. I wasn't practicing for the first pick of the draft. I was practicing for the end of the draft. When I got the first pick, I was thinking of trading it to the back of the draft, but I was like, I wanted a back-to-back pick, so I was really wanting 14th pick. We have a 14-team league, so that's pretty greedy, nasty, kind of rough in the draft. So how I thought about it, I was like, okay, number 1 pick, I don't get back-to-back to start off, but I get back-to-back at the end of the draft. But the players that I was going for, practicing up until draft day was the back of the draft. I wasn't. It was hard to go for them in as the first pick of the draft because I'm reaching for them now. I'm reaching a little bit down to go grab those guys when I have all these guys that I really don't trust above them, but I also don't want to be ignorant and just ignore them. So first pick I drafted First pick I drafted Jefferson. Jettas. Could have easily been Tyreek Hill. Could have easily been Jamar Chase. Glad it wasn't Jamar Chase. That was really who I was thinking could basically have a better year than Jettas. But Tyreek Hill could easily have the best receiving, and he went 6th in our draft. But second pick, I had the back-to-back. I wanted a quarterback, but Mahomes was gone. My guys that I wanted, Jalen Hurts, Josh Allen, and Lamar Jackson were gone before I got to pick in the second round. Second round, all the QBs that I want went. We had 4 QBs gone in the second round. So I was stuck. It was between Devontae Smith for the Eagles, Najee, and Etienne. And at that point, I was thinking I was going to do Najee, Etienne, but I had the back-to-back because first pick, second, third round, I started it off. I was like, okay, let me just do Najee and Etienne, but I selected Najee first. So after I selected Najee, I was like, do I really want to go to Etienne? I was like, fuck. I should have did Etienne, Devontae, but I had already picked. So I was like, should I do another back or should I just go for another receiver? So I went with Devontae Smith over Etienne, which I wasn't sure about that. The reason why I'm not sold on Etienne because Bigsby is the backup, and I think they're gonna be using him on goal line and punching it in. And week 1, Etienne broke for 1, but outside of that, he was kind of contained for the most part of the game. And Bigsby was getting touches. I think he had a touchdown too. So that happened, and then what happened? 4th and 5th round pick. I was hoping Deshaun Watson was still going to be there. He was not there, but luckily Jerry Herbo was there, and I was high on Jerry Herbo early for my draft preparation, but then after that I wasn't really high on him anymore. But I was still able to go ahead and grab him and just trust. From when I grabbed him, I was just hoping, I hope you could be that top 3 quarterback you were 2 seasons ago. Last year was rib injury. This year he's healthy. His receivers are healthy. It could be a great year for Jay Herbo. Eckler, he has weapons. So backdoor, I saw a lot of tight ends being taken in the 4th round. So I was like, should I go take my tight end now? I was like, let me just go. I wasn't trying to take a tight end this early, but my draft plans just changed from what I practiced. I got Kittle, 5th pick to open up the 5th round, and I was just like, at that time Ayuk was still there, and I knew I wasn't supposed to take Kittle over Ayuk, but I just saw all the tight ends going. I was like, let me just take a Kittle. Like, I wasn't game planning for an early tight end. I was taking it down. But other people's draft kind of altered how I was planning the draft, and I was like, dang. So I wanted to go back. Like, it was supposed to be receiver, quarterback, 3 back straight, but it didn't happen that way. It went receiver, running back, receiver, quarterback, tight end. And then for that point, I didn't really have any backs at that point left to pick. After that, I had to settle for, I think, Jamal with my 6th, Jamal Williams with my 6th picks, Kirk with my 7th pick. And it was just a rough draft after that. I was just trying to, I don't know, picked up McKinnon, picked up Kadarius Toney. They both had awful week 1s. But, who else I pick up? Yeah, but I did win my week 1. Jay Herbo came through for me. Jefferson came through for me. I benched Najee. I started McKinnon thinking he was going to have a great game with no Kels. My 2 backs were Jamal Williams at RB1. He only had like 6 points in my league. And McKinnon only had 1.5. He had 1 catch on the first drive for 10 yards, and that was it. It's PPR 0.5 per receptions. Not a real PPR, but so who's my receivers? Jettas and Devontae. Jettas had 19 points. Devontae had 14. And then tight end Kittle didn't do too great. He could easily do great. Ayuk had the TDs. My flex, I went with Christian Kirk. He didn't have a good game. And then he had like 1.4 points for me. My defense did great. I had, who did I have? Jacksonville defense against the Colts, 13 points. And I basically won without a kicker. I went up against a team that had quarterback Kirk Cousins, running back James Conner, and another running back. Who was his other running back? Ramondre Stevenson, A.J. Brown against my Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith outdid him. He had Devontae Adams against my Jettas. Jettas outdid him. His tight end was Schultz. He didn't really do too much either. His defense was... He picked Vikings D against Tampa Bay, and that wasn't... They did like 5-6 points, where my D did 13 in the Jaguars against the Colts. And then I won without a kicker, basically. I game planned to where I was like, I'm gonna hold off on the kicker. If I need a kicker, I'm gonna pick up Zerline on Monday and keep the spot open. And I was able to do that because I play that way. I'm just wild. I wanted to see if I could use it for another waiver spot. But it was close to where I needed a kicker and I wasn't sure. But eventually I didn't really, when Sunday came, I didn't have a kicker on my roster. When Sunday evening came, I picked up a kicker around 6 p.m. Before the night game, I had to drop a Giants player who was getting ready to play. And basically, his last player was Gano. That Sunday night game, he missed both of his field goals, -2. It was awful day. It was awful for him, and he's one of the shit talkers in our league, and I was able to hand him an L week 1. It was 91 to 66 points. I didn't need the kicker, but I just decided to use my kicker, Zerline, because he was already on the roster, and I put him in. But basically, we're all joking. I beat him without a kicker. He has no shame, this and that. But that was a good week for me to start off. Now I'm going week 2. I got 2 of my boys tipping off tonight, Devontae and Jettas, my receivers, but I also have I'm going Najee in the starting lineup this week. He won against San Francisco D. That's the only reason I benched him for McKinnon. But I see it as the first 3 weeks, I'm still in preseason. The last 11 weeks, I'm in season mode. So still trying stuff out. Jamal Williams is my other running back. Kamara's not there. So it's Herbo, Najee, Jamal. He has a good matchup this week. I have Jettas, Devontae, tight end Kittle. Other running back, I might go with Zach Moss this week. Zach Moss for the Colts. Deion Jackson's not there. Jay Taylor's not there. Hole is hurt. Or I could go with Christian Kirk. And then my defense, I do have the Giants going up against the Arizona Cardinals. That should be a good matchup. And then for kicker, I have Nick Folk so far. So he had a great week 1. I look for him to have a great week 2. One team I didn't talk about the Rams and the Seahawks. Seahawks looked okay. Geno, I don't trust Geno, but Geno did his thing. I mean, Geno didn't do his thing. They kind of were average against a Rams team who kind of exploded towards the end of the game and showed that they were going to run. They had 22 carries for Akers, 15 carries for Kyren Williams. Kyren Williams had more productive touches, 2 TDs. They had no Kupp, but they had Nakua, a rookie who kind of played like Kupp, 10 catches, 15 targets, 119 yards. They had Outwell, who had another 8 to 10 catches, freaking 14 to 15 targets, and another 100+ receiving yards. So that was a good sign for Matthew Stafford. He looked sharp. They had Higsby. He looked sharp. They were okay. But that's it for this episode. Episode 14, Heat in the Moment podcast. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. I'll be back with another video soon. I promise y'all. I'll holler at y'all later. You dig? We out. In the heat of the moment, I know I can trust myself.